Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745, and we are deep into France. We are attacking Paris, though I know we're not doing terribly well there, and that we're still going to attack there just because we're tying up troops while we are pushing out here into the west of France and sort of around to the south, and successfully pushing down through here a bit more slowly, as this is not a World War I as in stalemate scenario. So we are going ahead with that, and that's looking good. Not maybe managing all the units best there. Italy has joined the war and is doing okay out here in the Western Desert, and doing okay going into Tunisia, and doing okay going into Greece. Maybe not great there, but it's doing okay there. So the war is expanding there, and of course Japan is doing okay in China. So that is our current status. And everyone, I hope I can get you to taste that like button. Just lick it a bit. It tastes different for each video, they say. So lick the like button. And of course, if you're new, I'm hoping I'm earning your subscription. And I know not everyone's going to watch the whole video. But maybe you jump through it a bit to see how it goes. I do appreciate even the casual sort of like get the daily update and see how the war is going. You can, watch this little bit and a little bit more, and then jump halfway through it, and then jump towards the end and see where we get to. You can just do that. And I appreciate all of you just coming and taking a look at the videos. So thank you. And so while I was saying that, we are pushing in here. Pushing in deep. We're outrunning our supply source, but we are, with a bit of help here from folk, we've got this sort of motorized up. This here will get, in 8 days, we will get more supply coming through here, and hopefully get some more, capture some more supply centers to help support our push. And okay, now we have this infantry division there and Poletsai here, so I think we're going to, let's push this way. And you're going to support that push, but not actually leave your province. Just to sort of be winning that battle there. Yeah, you're coming to join into there, and now that, yeah, I think maybe I don't want to redirect you. Let's just keep you moving to there. Continue to sort of encircle. Okay, we're across the river here. Good, and we're getting some more motorized forces coming up, so let's start pushing along here and use that infantry division here. Okay, now we're hitting them from 2 directions. Yes, we are more or less lost the air war over France, that is. But we are winning the ground war, which is what's important, I think. You can reorganize up a bit. You're coming in to reinforce the situation. Okay, well, we're losing stability. I hope if we end this war with France, we'll get a big stability boost. I don't know. Okay, that offensive petered out, but let's support that while some units move up to support our next drive out of that province. Okay, good. So here we are. And the 2 motorized divisions going forward. Once they enter the action, support with the infantry division. That way it helps these guys with that counterattack happening there. Again, guys, just go after Paris just to keep them keep the troops there tied up. Okay, yes. Yeah, I think we'll send these 2 motorized forces along this way. Let's sort of drive onto Paris. Let's send these 2 divisions that way and this division that way. Well, this is now empty, so let's spend in a couple of divisions there. Yeah, somebody's coming, I realize that, but they won't be entrenched or maybe even well organized when we hit it. We've got Hungarian forces moving around. To what end, guys? To what end? Where are you going? You think you're going to go invade Europe or invade? Okay, resulted from proposal Kurt tank. Okay, it would be useful. Okay, we've got Condor C1. All right, good, good, good. I think, yes. Maybe I should have read that and honored the event better. I like events that tie in, so we now have naval bombers. Good. Long range type. Designed, at least. Okay, this can only be, and we are already doing that. So, let's get better Stukas researched. What is our current naval bomber? That's the flying boat. Transports, we're just going to keep making the basic transport. I don't know that we're doing naval bomb. Oh, we got this naval bomber here. 3 a month, and if I switch it, we're going to go down. So yeah. Well, we need more factories, that's for sure. How many are damaged? Holland, these are we're taking over. Yeah, those are mostly just damaged in the battles of Holland and whatnot from bombing. Okay, well. Let's send this army division around this way. We really don't need him or him to pound on the city. I know we have a few here that I'm thinking of. Yeah, let's take all 3 of these motorized forces and send you south there. I know we could attack there, but I'm really hoping that we will win against a single division there. So we're hitting from more than one province. Okay, these guys are moving forward, so we'll move all these guys forward with them. These are coming forward to there. Oh, yeah. Turn that around. Alright, well now we're going to do this again, but it's going to be against just one division instead of two. I think that's what we had last time, and you're going to support. Okay, we got that done, and you're going to support that. Okay, so now we got half-tracks, armored half-tracks designed. Yeah, okay. We're being pushed back. Alright. Send more divisions into the area of that. I'm not wanting to send... Well, I'm sending those two divisions around here, I know. Yeah, these... I'm trying to get this Paris thing surrounded. Yeah. We can look at supply again here. So we're... Yeah, it is orange, I see. Well... 4 more days, and then we should have that as a better supply hub. Good. You guys made that. So one of those. One of these that way. And they're going to hopefully push there effectively. So, well, you support this. Okay, you go into Khan, the city there. You guys attack and down into this path. Good. We're all the way down to here. Very good. Okay. You go that way. You go that way. And you, yes. You also go this way. That leaves these other divisions here. Again, I hate the way these counters work. You support that attack. You support that attack. And we'll leave you two just sitting there, waiting if there's going to be a counterattack. Oh good, these guys have already stopped their attacking that pump. Let's go into Orleans. There are there now. They are there now. So you support that attack without leaving position. Well, they're being pushed back there. So, where are you going? You're okay. You're going to occupy there. Probably before he gets across. Probably. Okay, well, good. So now, well, I guess we send you to there. And we send you, and you, and you to there, with you supporting it. And that way we can cut all of these off, pocket them, and, oh, like I say, we need to keep this going, guys, so that they fight to hold Paris and not run away. We can successfully surround them. Support that attack. What? Oh, wait a minute. Are we... Okay. You are forbidden to go there, so don't send supply. I think they were sending supplies into the port. Oh, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to lose my shipping doing that. You know, they're on motorization level. They're on motorization level. Good. Oh, this is now working. Okay, well, we can do that, I guess. There we go. That's better supply. Probably take that back down to... there we go. That's going back down to horses. No, we got more factories, free military. Okay. Yeah, I like... Oh, we're going to use rubber. Oh, well, but I'm liking my big naval bombers, and we do have, yes, those guys, which they also use rubber, which we need to do too. Okay, trade. We may do that soon, but we're going to have this soon, so that'll get us some more synthetic rubber. Okay, we got 3 armored divisions. Well, bullet size not armored division, but and these guys are Lish divisions. But you guys move forward. You move forward. Okay, well, the can attack stalled out, but that was mostly just a holding operation. I think we're going to concentrate here for the moment on trying to get across the river here. You can support the attack. I want you to hold position. We'll buy time to get him into place. And hopefully he'll be able to hold once in place. Hopefully. All right, well, we're down here now. They're pushing into there now. Yes, France is collapsing. Yeah, I do. Okay, you're right. I have lost the sky. A lot of I don't want to give up even the small production lines there. These guys will help with the bombers. We are doing just one factory on Stukas for that production line. Okay, that's another factory. We switched over the rubber there from the bombers. I mean, handheld anti-tank. Let's see, how many are we producing handheld anti-tank? Should get this better organized, but I just don't because I'm lazy. I end up taking more time, especially your time as I look through this. Handheld anti-tank. Okay, let's go down to one of these because we had a lot of those. Don't know if we have enough of those, but we have a lot of them. Okay, so that would get us 2 more factories. And we got a lot of light anti-tank. So not producing heavy anti-air guns, but all right. Let's look at how many factories we have in light anti-tank. Two factories. I think we can go down to 1. Let's add another one here. Some mills and radio equipment should go into air. Okay. Let's look for radio equipment. It's a brownish sort of box, if I remember, because I see symbols faster than I see. Okay, it's a grayish sort of box. Okay. Oh boy, we've got a lot of those. So let's go down to 3. I think let's look. Oh no, I want to come here. How many radios do we have? I know I can push them back up. Garrison, which we're trying to catch up on Garrison. We got a lot of Europe to garrison here. Yeah, okay, we got 9,000. Right. Okay, so we've got a lot of radios now. Or radio things done. We got that. Okay, so that would be 5 more. Right. Well, we are now. Let's. Oh, we may have to wait today. I thought we would need more rubber. Well, fighters don't need rubber. That's right. I thought fighters needed rubber. They don't. Oh, no wonder. Okay, good. Because the other bombers, other aircraft do, but fighters don't. Okay, that was one of my reluctance. I was mistaken on that. Thought we needed rubber for fighters because I am still. Well, okay. Let's hold these air wings. I want to control the airspace over Germany, and I know it's not being terribly contested, because I don't want to be bombed my factories, but I'm giving up trying to do that. Okay, all the way down to 1 mil. Okay, I'll go with your suggestion, and we'll just blame you when I lose, even though it won't be because of radios. That will get us 2 more. Okay, because we have the aluminum. Now, I don't know... Oh, we need more... Well, we're going to continue this, but we need to increase air production capacity. I don't know that any of that would increase production capacity. I don't think so. Luftwaffe expansion. Okay, well, that would do air assembly slots. So 56 days, though. Not air production capacity. Artillery and small arms. That's good. Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea because we're negative all of that. Total used. Oh. You need to do aircraft factories. We're even lower than that now. Yeah. Where is aircraft factories? I know. Yeah. Okay. Assembly plants here. Hey, Hoffmanator. Thank you for showing up. Well, the war goes well, production goes badly. That's how I would describe it. The war goes well. I'm going to move both of these to the top. That will help. It will help. Okay, we've got Paris cut off. Oh no, they still have this one province that's sort of kind of supplying out, though we've cut the rail links out of Paris. You join the assault on Paris. Yeah, oh yeah, well, we are doing somewhat historical. Okay, why? Oh, we were attacking their submarines. That's why we're battling here. Because I'm trying to send stuff along the Norwegian coast for my one sort of importation of rubber from Thailand, which the British have not yet figured out how we're doing that, I guess. Okay. This division and this division attack there. Came after 1 hour and told you this looks like it's becoming another World War I. Well, I don't know. We're circling in Paris. We're pushing deeper. You come up to there. You and you all attack that way. And you support the attack. Don't go into it. Build them, or there's some text that will increase them. Hello, some Molly. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering it. Don't mean to. Yeah, well, I'm circling around. I mean, this is sort of kind of like what they wanted the Schlieffen plan to be. Yes. You're changing your name again. Oh, were you? Oh, hello, Salty Crew over on Rumble. Sorry I didn't see your post earlier. Hope you're still around. Our Salty 3 crew. Okay, so we're pushed all the way down into here. They're bringing up reinforcements. They're falling back. Sort of hoping they'd get across and we would do something a little bit more there. Nope. I know well, we didn't start the war until spring 1940, so we delayed that. Yeah. No, we've not done Westerbork. It's a combination of reasons that I haven't done it. One, you know, I do have all these mountain divisions, which would go nicely to do that. But also, where is it? It's around here somewhere. The police are outside. Let's see. Okay. They drove away. Where's Westerbork? It's in here somewhere. Okay. Operation Westerbork. I just haven't had time to do the national focus with everything else. You know, I mean, it's a combination of that complaint and what gamer fighter production one takes only 30 days research. Meanwhile, you need to unassign mills air production. You're just wasting them. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So, fighter production one. Let me see if I can find fighter production one. Thank you again, folk, for all of your. It's probably over here in this mess. Now we're gonna wait for this to go. Okay, so it's a tech. Oh, it's a tech. Well, let's find it here. I think you're meaning here because we have. Okay. Fighter workshops here, if that's what we're talking. We have that. We have that. If that's what you're talking about. So we have that. Oh yeah, no, I'm enjoying the mod so far. So yeah, if you're talking Fighter Workshops 1 here, yeah, we have that. We've got to get down to here to be able to do 2. So, okay, well, we're at negative 34, so let's see. That's negative 16. I know it isn't a 1-for-1, negative 4. Okay, there we go. Well, I'm still going to keep these like single military factories for some of these others. Now, this is other fighters. I mean, these are these are obviously heavy fighters, but will help with the bombers, and that's sort of why I'm having them operate here. Or production there. I've cut back most of the other bombers and transports to just minimums to keep some in production, and I want to have some long-range naval bombers in production. Yeah. Well, thank you, Seth. Okay, so we got 6 more ICs. Let's see, what other big glaring holes? Artillery and heavy artillery, medium and heavy artillery. Let's do at least one each of those added to it. Add to whatever their production current. Heavy artillery 1, medium artillery 1. Let's do 2 more in medium artillery. It's we got some cushion here. We'll catch up on the garrison equipment someday. Light tanks were burning up, but I want to build more mediums and supports and stugs. Okay. Let's down to the bottom again, because that's where these are. Okay. Okay, let's do 2 and 1. Think we need more of the 3s than the 4s. These guys are going to come in and reinforce that. They're pushing there. These guys are going to join the cavalry division, hopefully before it gets pushed out. We almost got Paris surrounded. We are pushing in 2 locations. You support that attack. Do not leave position, though. Getting some more forces pushing in there. So definitely in the stalemate sense, this ain't World War I, but is a bit more. They didn't. Well, they moved some forces, Britain and France, up into the Low Countries, but not as much, and we didn't quite trap them there. And they've, of course, fought for Paris instead of let Paris be an open city. Reduction interface by category by pressing shift clicking. Yeah, and I could reorganize the whole thing too. Yeah, I know. Panzer 3s and 4s are what we're producing. The F and the D. So, yeah. Decent models for this time period, but waiting for him to get to, well, let the clock go, get to here to so, well, they are, okay, they're down to 1 division already, so they had a big stack before. You join that, and you push down into there. I think we'll add you there. You attack again. You're just... You support that attack. Again, just trying to pin these forces so they don't all slip out through the pocket. Improved computing machine. Great. Good. We wanted to do that. Helps all other research. Okay, so, right, so we've got radios, we don't have that. We're doing some radar, we got computing machines. Let's come back over here. Well, the 41, no, it's already November, so it's just a pause. Oh, another victory for Winterland. We've got Paris. Okay, we're gonna start this research here. So we've just taken Paris. Assurance of victory, war propaganda, which will give weekly stability. United we fight, which will also give weekly stability. Weekly stability 30%. That's better. We'll wait a few days to get a little bit more and see if something else pops up here that we finally got into Paris, but we've taken that out. Is there anything I need to pay attention to right now? I don't know. Yes, very good. Okay, back to here. Yeah. Decrease. Okay. Oh, that's only 25. But it's more consumer goods. Yeah, but still, we'll do it. We'll do it. It's plus 80th of a percent. It's not plus 80%. It's plus 80th of a percent. But still, yeah, that should help. War is hurting it. Yeah. It's that Himmler thing that I just don't approve of. If you really sort of look at what was going on, it really, the SS was really, I would say, more stabilizing situation than destabilizing situation. The SS for all of its evilness, and it was very evil, this isn't anything like justification, it was a very effective organization. It was not like the SA. The SA, you know, it's a blunt force instrument, shall we say. I think that would be a good sort of way to look at it. When they get out and do like election campaigning or whatnot, okay, yeah. I guess you guys attack across the river, that single division there. Where are you going? You're going straight south. Okay. You attack across there. That way it's sort of kind of trapping these guys. Okay, they've got their reinforcements in both places. That's good. Like I was saying, so the SA, you know, can be intimidating, be out on the street, which does sort of create its own stability, but may also create its own instability. Both approval and disapproval of what's going on there within the people. But the SS, they're fairly sophisticated. They're putting out spies around, and these aren't like guys in black trench coats that everyone sees that those are the Gestapo. No, these are the Gestapo that just look like going out in a, you know, civilian clothes, just looking like another civilian. And they do, you know, have women, and I don't know whether some of these people are sort of like hired agents and not like actual SS members, or whether these are SS members. But are going out and standing in rationing lines and listening and taking notes very carefully without people knowing it of what people are talking about and what problems there are. And these are all getting reported up, and so that they're trying to deal with problems, increasing stability. Well, I'm not talking about the Waffen-SS. That's a different thing, folk. There's the Waffen-SS and there's the SS, which is the overall, the general or allgemein SS. They're a different thing. And I'm talking about the guy. Well, you know, some of that's the Gestapo. Some of that, because the Gestapo is sort of an investigative agency. They were the Gestapo, and it originally starts out as the Gestapo, and it's named after the sort of postmark that was done, but it sort of changes over to the Gestapo, and it starts out as and the reason I came over here is the Prussian police, Prussian political police, going after political dissidents, shall we say, and it pre-exists the Nazi takeover of in 1933, and it comes under the Gestapo, comes under Goering, because Goering is president of Prussia, while Hitler is Chancellor of Germany, and Hindenburg is president of Germany. You know, so he's sort of like being governor in America kind of thing. He is, but of Prussia, which is a very large area in Germany, not just East Prussia or West Prussia, but is all of Prussia. And so he's in charge of all of the police. Goering is in charge of all of the police, you know, all the different types of police in Prussia. Well, at some point, I don't know the date right offhand, at some point, all of the police come under the SS. It gets moved to the SS. So, but not all policemen are SS men. Now, eventually, all police generals, and they become called generals, are also SS men. But the regular police are not SS men. The Gestapo gets moved into, because it's an investigative agency, gets moved into the SS. And so they are often moving around in pseudo plainclothes, and and they start working outside of just the Prussia, all over. But the Gestapo are sort of an investigative. Yeah, they will arrest you, obviously, but they're sort of an investigative agency within it, as opposed to various other SS stuff. And some of them are, you've heard of course, like the Lebensborn, the sort of orphanages that the SS, because they want, for various reasons, and some of them are a bit salacious. They're trying to increase birth rate, so if somebody, some SS person get, child out of wedlock, and some of it gets a bit salacious and maybe a bit untrue in some of the documentaries or pseudo documentaries, but but there's other kinds of, shall we say, non-enforcement type duties that the SS are also doing. And there's a lot of people. It becomes a huge operation. And they're just getting too many people out this way. Okay, Guderian has gained enough experience. Okay. I think it's the German and Polizei, the local police forces that were never part of the RHSA. Okay, plus the military secret police, like the... Okay, yeah, there's the Field Jag Corps, and the Field Gendarmerie, which are also independent of the RHSA, yeah. Right. But is it RHSS? I'm not sure. Oh god, I don't know. Maybe you're looking at it. Sorry if you know you're right. As far as I know, okay, and things changed from 1933 again, and I use very specific language in 1933 that Hitler was chancellor. Sometime in 1934, after Hindenburg dies, almost immediately after Hindenburg dies, he becomes Führer, when they combine the offices of Chancellor and the offices of President in Hitler into one office, and Hitler takes it over. So, this is all moving along. Because when Hitler... Do note, when Hitler is Chancellor, the army is loyal to the President. So it's not like, well, it's sort of like, okay, it's really sort of weird. Because Hitler is chancellor, it is sort of like prime minister in Britain. But the chief executive is the president of Germany, which is Hindenburg, but Hitler's running the government as chancellor. He's chancellor, but that isn't like being the American Speaker of the House, because there is a Speaker of the Reichstag, which is and had been for some considerable amount of time prior to Hitler coming to power, had been Göring. Göring was quite popular with a lot of groups of people because he was an air ace in World War II, and yeah, he was a Nazi. And a lot of people that thought the Nazis were okay, but their political party was something else, some other thing. So, Göring gets enough support even before the Nazis come to power. And when the Nazis come to power, they don't hold the majority position of votes in the Reichstag. They are a very large party, and maybe the largest party, but it's really... they need the coalition with the conservatives, because there's several of them, several parties there that are on the conservative wing, which, as opposed to the revolutionary wing, right wing, which is the Nazis, as opposed to the revolutionary. I'm calling it right wing at the moment. I vacillate on it, where there's the revolutionaries on the left, the radical socialist and the communist, as opposed to the Social Democrats, which are just sort of left, center left in Germany. So there's all these different parties, and it's the Nazis, I think, in 33 are the biggest party, but they're not the majority party in the Reichstag. They're not the majority party in the Reichstag. They still got to do coalitions. And now the president, which is of the Conservative Party, Hindenburg, has a lot of power in who he appoints and how it does it. But they have to take, have to get some sort of workable majority. So they do a deal with the Nazis, and they had previously done deals with the Nazis prior to this, and that's why Goering is Speaker of the Reichstag, which is like Speaker of the House in the U.S. So the army doesn't answer to Hitler in 1933. It's that sort of famous thing, and why people often point to, I think maybe overpoint to it, is why the army doesn't rebel against Hitler, is when they swear that oath to Hitler in 34 after Hindenburg dies. But it is also, and they maybe overdo the, I think it is important, but I think it's overdone. I'm not saying there isn't serious relevancy, but I just think there is, I think it's overdone. Because when they're to the Führer, and then they, in the swearing, and you can see some of the film of it, Adolf Hitler. So they do name him as he is the Führer. But, as in the current office holder. So I don't think this is some sort of personal bond, loyalty, like it was to, like the German officers would have maybe felt to the Kaiser. But I think it's more that they're just swearing to, the actual now head of the state, as well as head of the government. And this is why, Hitler, again, and I'll read through Plastic Gangster's thing. Again, in 33, the army doesn't answer to the civil state in Germany. It answers to the presidency, which is, of course, a civil elected office. But that is different, and it's a different sort of chain of command than the civil state. And this goes back to Prussia. The way Prussia and Frederick the Great and his, descendants sort of organized the army is sort of separate from the state. It's really, especially if you look at Prussia, it's really a state designed to support an army, as opposed to a army supporting a national state. It's, well, why do we have a state? Well, of course, to support the army, because we just want to have an army. Almost in a way, Frederick the Great wanted to have an army, didn't care about ruling territory. No, he just wanted, not, that's obviously silly, but you get the idea that it was the army that was everything to them. So, and so Hitler is very worried about, even after that, very worried, paranoidally worried about the army, even after this swearing in ceremony. This is why I say I think it's overdone. One of his big relief points is once they get into general conscription back into Germany, and then millions, I don't want to overstate it, but it is more than 1 million, it's in a few million, SA men are drafted into the army, either as full-time or as in reserves. And he believes, whether it's correct or not, he believes that having these men now all throughout the army, not like commissars like you would see in the Soviet Union, but just percolated through all of the divisions everywhere, that there's less likely of a revolt, or if there is a revolt, it's a lot less likely that the army itself will respond, most units will respond to, the call to revolt against Hitler. So that's sort of why I'm going in it, because I think it's sort of looking backwards that they overdo that ceremony. So let's see what Plastic Gangster. Following Hitler's appointment as Chancellor in 33, the military oath changed again, although the soldiers were required to swear loyalty to the people in the country. Volk and Vaterland. Rather than individual leaders, all this changed with the death of President Paul von Hindenburg in August 34. I just didn't know the date, but I knew it was then, roughly. And at this time, Adolf Hitler began to solidify his control over Germany. Well, I mean, he was already controlling over the army, but solidifying his control over the army starting. That same day, all military personnel swore. Yeah. New oath that leads. The office requires mostly Junkers and Vons and Zers, so the oath would be important to men like that. Yes, it is important to men like that. But I will say this. Very many of these guys have contempt for Hitler. Model, he's ideologically supporting. He's an ideological Nazi. Let's take some quick look in here. Well, Schroner may also be. I would maybe go down that. I'm just sort of guessing on that. Reichenau. Reichenau is another ideological, hardcore ideological Nazi. He dies of a heart attack during the war while jogging or something. And there's a few others, and I'm not talking about the SA guy or the SS guys, but there's a few others that are ideological Nazis. But a lot of these guys have contempt for Hitler on many levels. But I'm not saying the oath isn't important. I'm forgetting who, oh, I don't know how. You know, one of the major generals that becomes close to Hitler's chief of, staff is offering in 1938, offering to Chamberlain, well, we'll do a revolt against Hitler, dudes, if you just simply attack Germany. We'll revolt. But you gotta vigorously attack Germany and we'll revolt. I forget again what general that was. And this was all during the Munich crisis in 1938. So the army is going, if you just declare a war and you go sit behind the Maginot Line with the French and, go do, battles the U-boats or something, well, we won't revolt. We'll fight the war against Czechoslovakia. But if you stand up to Hitler and vigorously go in, we'll do a coup or a putsch or whatever they want to call it. So you get, and this is fairly well recorded. I mean, it's not, it was secret and they never blew the guys, publicized it during the war, as far as I know, that they offered to do a coup, and they and this was some fairly high up. Brauhitsch could be, I forget who. Hadler. That's, I think it was Franz von Hadler. I think it was Hadler. I think folk has that right. No, Gaudeler is the mayor. He's anti-Hitler all the time. No, I'm talking about within the Army High Command, and I think it's Hadler. I think it was him that offered this very secretly to, and that but the idea was and they were talking, this is obviously treason talk, talking that it had to be real push because this is in 38. So, they've reinstituted by this point mass drafting, but, and there's lots of SA men running around. There's lots of SS men running around, but we'll stage a coup, based on the idea that Hitler has taken Germany into a war that we're unprepared for and we're going to lose. So we've got to do a coup and then we'll, peace out. Whether of course they were thinking, well, we're keeping Austria, of course, because Austria is part of Germany and we're keeping this, but hey, you can have the, yeah, he was chief of staff. That's what I mean. Chief of staff of the German army in 1938 was offering to do a coup against Hitler. So yes, you got that right, Plastic Gangster, and of course, folk, for getting that. Thank you for getting the name right. And so they're offering to do a coup in 1938. So this is chief of staff. This isn't some divisional general off somewhere else, because I forget there was another divisional general, and one of the things that I thought of, and I'm sort of for a mod, if I ever start modding, whether this game or some other game, of all the different assassination type attempts against Hitler, and what to do, whether just to have them all fail or mostly fail or have them 99% or 95% chance to fail or what, I don't know. But there was one divisional officer early on, during, I think, the Phony War era, who was commanding a division along the West Wall, was waiting for, or maybe a corps commander or something, was waiting for Hitler to show up, and he was going to arrest him. Which is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. But he thinks he's going to arrest Hitler. I'm not saying, and I he was serious. I believe he was serious about it. I don't think it was just some sort of, oh, wouldn't it be nice, or oh, talking over too much, oh, a parade or something that starts, I think, with an E, EP. Yeah, I don't know. Was, he would wind up in the July 20th, I think, the liberated Austria, they made a film about it. But one general was planning on doing that. Now, because you don't want to, because if you arrest, you arrest somebody like Hitler, you're going to get it's going to be a problem. It's going to be, an attempt to, now maybe he was just saying to his co-conspirators or whatever, within his, command, it was just a few people, we're just going to arrest him. You don't arrest him. You grab him and you shoot him. You don't give the chance for the army to go, whoa, but we do talk about it. And I'm not saying they were frivolous about this oath, but there's enough evidence that they were willing to revolt against him if they thought they could get enough support. Because that's the idea. The idea is not, can we do a revolt against Hitler? It's, can we get the support, because we have generals like Model and Reich now, which are ideologically ideologically Nazis, not just nationalists that want to defend Germany against threats. Communism, liberalism, French retaking the Rhineland or whatever, Poland pushing its borders west, whatever. Not just nationalist generals or traditionalist generals or whatnot, but some of these guys are ideological national socialists with all those, not just racism, but all the sort of mysticism combined going on. So there's a lot of that going on, and you got to get enough support so that when you can get these guys arrested. And so you needed to have the situation in which, because in 38 Germany's fairly damn weak, that you push that, if you're pushing into the Rhineland, you're pushing, because in 38 again the West Wall is very weak. Push in vigorously and attack and regain. You got to take Berlin or something, but push in and vigorously push German forces back somewhere. Then we can do this, because we can say, oh shit, leader went crazy, getting us into a second war. We've been devastated by the first one. Let's do this. So that's why I say that oath is not insignificant, but not as powerful as when we're looking back at it and thinking it is. So yeah, that's where I am on that. There's a lot of stuff. And so, if you just arrest Hitler, then you'll get all the SA units. You'll get all the SS units. The SS are small comparatively, but the SA is big. You'll get a bunch of men in various units that, if they weren't in field gray, they would be in brown shirts, wondering what the hell are we doing. And no, you gotta eliminate Hitler. And of course you'll have the Luftwaffe, which is, unlike the Navy and unlike the Army, which both of those over time are becoming more and more now, every single organization, literally every single organization in Germany is going through a national socialization process. I mean, the national chefs organization. There is a national sort of chefs for hotels and restaurants, chefs organizations. I've saved, photos of brochures and stuff to like make events for it. There is, you know, that they're holding. That's National Socialite. The local gardening society of Nuremberg or wherever, and again, I have some of this stuff from this, they got to come into National Socialized. Every single organization is being National Socialized in Germany over time. That doesn't mean that they're all filled with Nazis. That just means they got to sort of kind of comply, you know, no Jews, no communists, no whatever. You know, everything is being moved. And there's resistance. And you can look at Hitler's Compromises, a great book, well-researched, that deals with Hitler making compromises for the sort of middle-of-the-road German citizens when his regime or elements of it get pushed back. Demonstrations, and there's a lot of them, demonstrations going on. There, up until the end, there are either in the high hundreds or low thousands, not, and it's talked about in the book, and I just don't remember, of Jewish men that are married to Aryan women. Late in the war, and by that I mean 44 or 45, and this is like in the Berlin area, a bunch of these men are sort of taken away. Okay? Now this is after the Holocaust has been raging for years and millions of people died in it. Well, these Aryan women, by their definition, show up with signs peacefully, but showing up in protesting in Berlin. Their husbands are, and I think they're sort of somewhat, and I don't remember the details, sorry, and not remembering all the details here. So, but the basic point is, and they're in some sort of monitored situation, but they were sort of arrested and were going to be taken away. Well, they're brought back and given back to these Aryan women because for all of the under orders or feared to be shot, there's a hell of a lot of pushback when the average, not the communist, not the Jew, but the average sort of German pushes back, and not the occupied Pole or the Dutch or whoever, but the quote-unquote right type of people. If they push back against the regime, even late into it, the regime often, not always, and they look at some of the different case studies within this book, gives into this. So these women, in essence, through to the end of the war, save their husbands that are clearly Jews, registered as Jews, but they're married to an Aryan woman. Even with all of the laws going on about, racial marriage, they save their husbands just by protest, by coming out and publicly protesting on the street. They don't arrest these women. Now, other times, what is happening is they are given orders to like Nuremberg or Hamburg or Hanover to all of you people, a lot of them are women and with children, go here, go somewhere in the countryside. Here's your area. You're now, and they get put on trains and they go here and they given new ID cards that say that they're supposed to be here. And these are just, you're getting your standard sort of German citizens. And after a while, and the main reason is because of bombings and whatnot. And they're trying to, non-essential workers or non-essential personnel, get them out of, that aren't working in a factory that's located, get them out of these bombing zones. Well, after a few months of these things, a lot of these women are like sick of where they are. They can't, it's trying to get a job or trying to find they're crammed into bad living conditions that they feel, which very well may be. It's just not set up well for them. So they break the orders because because it gives their new location, and they go back here. And then they get arrested. And this goes, so they're arresting people and whatever. And some, for a while, they're sort of brutal to some of them. And so there's a lot of push back and forth. So, the National Socialist regime is, is not you know, again, yeah, to the Jew, to the Pole, to the whoever, they're as brutal as all hell. But compare it to the Stalinish regime and how they treat Russian citizens who would show up in front of the Kremlin and I hate or Stalin, give our husbands back. All of those women would have just disappeared. You just know it, okay, if they had done that. And there would, you know, we wouldn't know that they'd done that because they would have been out there less than an hour and they would have gone away and no one would have talked about it. So maybe they did that and they disappeared. We don't know. But we know because and the reason we know some of this stuff is because the SS recorded it and we have their documentation of some of the SS documentation. So we know because they write reports on these incidents. And this is where, and I forget the author, I should do a book review thing. And I've been thinking about doing that as, you know, shorter book review. And so, you know, he's looking at the documents, you know, and reading these documents is how he knows about some of this stuff. And some of this stuff even gets printed in newspapers, that there's this protest going on during, you know, late in the war and earlier. So, you know, you gotta, you know, Hitler is worried about revolt throughout his whole regime. And it's the one thing that makes most of it go away, most of his worries and most of it is taking of Paris and the defeat of France. That's the big thing. And let's see. Okay. DP prisoners took to castles to hold hostage in the last days of the war. The German and Americans liberate from the castles. They made it into the film. Yeah, there are VIP prisoners. Some are taken to very dark and I don't, just because of YouTube and algorithms, I don't want to start naming names, and I prefer you not to do it in chat either. Be careful on what you're posting there, just because algorithms. So they don't always take context important. But some of the darkest names, you know, also had parts of the, because it was and the one I'm thinking of starts with an A. Is it a big complex? And there's production facilities there, including Alaric Porcelain, a very high-end porcelain company that Himmler buys and transfers to the complex. And I don't know if it's using some sort of forced labor as part of its production, but they also have the artisans that are the high-end hired right type of Germans that are working there. So I don't know. But they're also producing SS uniforms and other, you know, production facilities type stuff there with forced labor, and you can imagine other stuff. But there's other complexes that are going on as part of the overall complex, and some of that is high-end prisoners, and some of the high-end prisoners are psychics, or claim to be psychics, and they're really into psychics, but only the right type of psychics. And that you can find all that out in another good book, Hitler's Monsters, that goes in. And some of these guys go into these prisoner of war camp or concentration camps and are sort of in special sections, shall we say, but very worried and knowing what's going on in these places too. I mean, they know what's with some of these things. And some of them, after a while, sort of get out to serve, you know, there's a whole program that they put a lot of effort into with these psychics, and there's you know, major effort and directing to where to send the U-boats. And you can imagine about how successful the program actually was. Yeah, not very, but it did exist. So they were trying to use psychics to find convoys. That was one of the projects that these guys were put on, if I remember correctly. So yes. Okay. And hello, Alternate History Hub. How you doing? Good to have you here. And hey, Beam Slam. Good to have you here as well. Well, the war in France, it's later than historical, but it's going rather well. Okay, check out Battle of Itter. It's the highest ranking German prisoner of war castle SS men with orders to kill the prisoners in a unit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that stuff going on. Okay, you were saying take Dijon. Where's Dijon? It's in France, I know. Troyes. Oh, Dijon. Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, I see here. Let's send 2 divisions that way. Let's send 2 2 divisions this way, and these other, again, I hate the way this works. Like the old one, and those 2 divisions go that way. But let's save this here, and I want to thank everyone watching this far into the video, because this has been fun, and I hope you have enjoyed me bathering. So come back next time for, yes, even more Hearts of Iron and Gamer talking about history and getting facts wrong, I'm sure, but hopefully it's fun. See you next time.